Yeah, hear that? I bought a new a Sharpie pen. I don't know if it's gonna work. I've never used it before. I might try it today. I'm not sure if I can get it to. Is that even working? I don't know. Fuck around with it later. What's going on, everybody? Here is another Reaper Destroyer head sketch because that's all I have to do these days. I hope everybody is having a great Tuesday. Is it the first yet? No, the first is tomorrow. So this is the 30th. We're still in November. All right. Year went by crazy fast. That is for sure. It's getting older every day, people. Feel it. I feel it. What's going on, Robert? Good to see you, brother. Got Nicholas Gear in the house. Past Master Dan. Sure, why not? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why not? Hey, what's going on, Adam? Good to see you. Prater 7. Chauncey's in charge, as Sean would say. Thank you for joining me. So this is just another, hopefully quick hour or so stream. Another Reaper Destroyer head sketch. I think I've got I just took another one of these the other day. I've got to stop. I think I'm going to stop. People keep reaching out, want to get stuff, and of course I want to do it. I'm going to be like, yeah, let's do it. But at some point, I gotta call it good and stop. I'm trying my phone today. Let's see if it's got a better camera. It doesn't go out of focus as much as the Logitech did. It was really kind of pissing me off yesterday. Struggling around with that. So, how's everybody's day this morning? Going good, I hope. Mine's pretty good. Stayed up a little late last night. I got the first. I got the first draft, I guess you could say, the pages of Reaper Destroyer Ashcan lettered from Eric Weathers yesterday. That was really cool to see. So it's getting closer to being done. So I think I'm gonna do a side profile. I've done straight on shot, the 3/4 shot. I'm gonna do a side profile this time around. Try to switch it up. It's either just headshots of the Reaper Destroyer, so I'm not doing any other character from the book. So I'm kind of limited to what I can do, what I can't do, I'm trying to make it interesting so nobody gets the same headshot. I was going to stream last night, and I saw the drunken stream with John Malin and Shane going on, so I decided I'm going to watch that instead. I'm running low on weed, but I'm hopeful. Oh, man, that's never a good sign. I remember when I used to smoke, the glory days. That was always not fun. When you watch your jar. I used to keep it in like a big old mason jar. It was always nice when it was full. You walk into the room, it was always a good feeling. About to go to work, downhill from here. Oh, man, I feel you. But yeah, you see that jar getting lower and lower. It's always like depressing. It's kind of like what I was talking about yesterday with his costume. He's got kind of more of a helmet than he does a mask. So the way I'm trying to draw him side profile is a little bit more rounded than you would see like maybe with a character like Spider-Man or Spawn. He does have this kind of like hobgoblin overhang. Sometimes I'll want to draw it a little bit more extreme, but I gotta pull it back sometimes. I don't want it to be too much like other hooded characters. He's going to bear some resemblance to other hooded characters, but if I can help it. Oh, what's going on, Amanda? We got American Comics in the house. Hail. I call my jar TARDIS. It helps me time travel. Ooh. Must be smoking that good weed. Is that a pie? I can't see. Or is that spaghetti? I can't tell. Too small on the screen. Yeah, the good old days, man. I remember them well. I remember them well. So I don't know exactly who these head sketches are going to yet. They're just going to create them and randomly put them into the backers. But I do know that this one is not going to Amanda B because she's already got a shot of my character at a side profile. So I'm going to keep whatever she gets is not going to be another side profile of the character. What's going on, Kevin? You got J-Bot in the house. Bow to the Reaper Destroyer. Leper Messiah. I love that. That's great. I dig that. I actually, we need to. I'm gonna have to figure out keep that as a slogan. I like that a lot. So yeah, if you missed it. I was saying earlier that I got some of the pages or all the pages back from Eric Weathers the other day. So I'm sending them to Mark for make sure that the editor has a look at them. But they look awesome. I gotta say that dude is the shit. And it's the first time, man. Like when you see your book for the first time lettered, I don't even know how to describe the feeling. It's really cool because I haven't seen my book or my character in print, since 2007 was the last time that I had this character in any kind of print. So to see the story, to be able to read it, to see how it flows, it was really cool. And I think you guys are really gonna dig what Eric did. But I had to share it with Sean yesterday. So um, since I'm on vacation, I got nothing to do but stay up and draw. I had him come on and we went over the pages yesterday, and it was fun. It was, Sean's been there since damn near the beginning. Damn near the beginning of this character. And it's I don't want to say it's as much his character as mine, but he takes a lot of pride in the character as well, because he remembers where it was and what it's taken to get it back up and going. And it's cool. I enjoy sharing those kind of things with Sean. I start playing around with the lighting a little bit and some of this stuff. I don't always just do the same lighting. Yeah, man. There's a reason why he letters everybody. Um, Such a professional touch to everything. Like when you read the book, it reads like a comic book. My book's gonna have sound effects. Some people don't like the sound effects. I personally like them because I feel like that's comics. So my book has sound effects in it, and just seeing like how everything's placed and stuff is really cool. The dude knows what he's doing. He's talented all around. Talented artist, letterer, all that kind of stuff. Someone should do a full contact version of live draw streams. Full contact. Not quite sure what you mean. Full contact. Someone should do a full contact version of live streams. I got to run out to the chiropractor later. Get my back adjusted. I think I might have to stop at the store and buy myself a new eraser because it broke the other day. So all I have is my kneading eraser, which I like. It's a really good eraser, but it doesn't always. It's not good for wanting to erase tiny little lines, as it is for like bigger areas. Yeah, it was a good night last night. Like I said, I watched a little bit of that drunken draw stream with John and Shane. Not sure who else jumped on. I think That Star Wars girl jumped on there for a little while. Wrapping up stuff, getting stuff ready for the ash can. I'm doing a lot of graphic design. It's interesting. Like I haven't done a lot of graphic design stuff since kind of my band days. So it's kind of fun jumping back into and seeing how I want a page layout to look, because I got like the sketch section of the ash can, and then I'm gonna have like the history section of the Reaper Destroyer in there. And the last time I kind of really did any kind of graphic design work was when we were working on our last album. Now that was a whole lot of fun to put that together, the lyrics section and whatnot. Hey, what's going on, Noah? Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you post anything new lately. You working on anything art wise? If you haven't yet, check out NTM. Dude is a hell of a good young artist. Makes me sick. But I really dig his style. Very, very cool style. I think I'm getting a little bit more used to drawing at this awkward position that I'm at with the desk. Because usually I draw over here on my table if I'm working on like the book or whatnot. But I've said before, for streaming, it's just a lot easier to set the camera up here. We got the mic right there, and just it'd be a crazy setup to try to move everything to go over there. Oh, we got Crazy Mad in the house. What's going on? Did I already say that? If I already said that, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep track. I'm trying to get better at drawing and talking. I think I'm accomplishing it. There was a time where I couldn't draw and talk at all, so I kind of try to make it a point where I force myself to try to do it and like actually hold a conversation, or at least trying to talk nonstop. I'll still have some times where I like stop talking because I concentrate on the line or whatnot. I think that'll just always be the case. I can hear my dog going crazy upstairs. I bought her a new chew toy, Bone. She's loving that. Maybe we'll keep her from chewing up the furniture for just a little bit. I can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. Yeah, me either. Me either. So Noah says, yeah, I'm working on a huge city scene with a double page spread, so I haven't been posting because I want to reveal it all in one go. Oh, nice. It's going to be insane when finished. Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Those are hard, man. Those are not easy to do. So really looking forward to that. All right, I'm trying to pronounce your name because I know I probably fuck this up every time, but Balander? I'm just going to say that. Hail, how's it going? So the way I learned to do so is decide who is going to shit talk while drawing. It's usually Rob Arnold. Yeah. Talk about how you used to be in a band is a good go-to for a dry run. That is true. That is very true. Did I ever tell you guys about the time that I met Vinnie Paul? Does anybody know who Vinnie Paul is? I met Vinnie Paul and all of Hell Yeah. It was the first time I was on tour, like actual tour. And as an independent band, I was basically the manager of our band. I'd plan our tours, contact places we go in the cities. It was really fun. It was really fun to plan out. But our first official tour that was not like a local stuff, because a lot of bands would just keep local, and they just play in their local town. Yeah, Pantera. Hell yeah, Pantera. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. And Pantera, for sure. What kind of guy was Vinny? Vinny was fucking awesome, dude, man. Rest in peace, man. Both Abbott brothers now have passed on, unfortunately with Dimebag being murdered. And then Vinny just, dying early. I mean, he was only like 50, 52, 53, something like that. I think he was the oldest of the guys in Pantera, but yeah, he died just what I think is just too early. Just hell of a talented dude, nice guy. When I met him, I wasn't trying to be up his ass too much because I'm sure that he would get a lot of fanboy people all the time wanting to, just hang out and talk to him and ask him a bunch of questions. I was trying to be respectful, not ask him a lot of questions. I got to go to his house and see his famous house there in Fort Worth. Had a fucking man, this dude was it was like a mansion, fucking swimming pools, had a bunch of like I don't know what they're called. Like apartment little houses out in the swimming pool area where a lot of the hell yeah guys stayed when they were recording. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Can I request mine with a bow tie? Sure. I could do that for you. So the first time touring, we toured down to Texas. I always wanted to play down in Texas because I was always a huge fan of Pantera. They were a big influence on our band amongst other styles, but Pantera was just they were kings, right? They were the kings of metal for a reason, and I wanted to play in their hometown, so I found a contact and booked a show in Fort Worth. We played two shows in Fort Worth. We played one when we were coming through. Uh, we toured down southwest, but we stayed in Texas quite a bit because I was able to find more people willing to book bands, a band that they had never heard of, and that was the thing, trying to hit up venues, be like, "Hey, you should book us. I know you've never heard of us, but here's a sample of our music, blah blah blah." And Fort Worth was really cool. Had a lot of cool people there, a lot of good reception, and we had a show going in and a show coming out, and we ended our tour in Fort Worth and we were supposed to have a couple days off to get home. And I had to work in that Tuesday or something. I can't remember. But the promoter of the Fort Worth show really liked us when we came through. We hung out with him after the show. He put us up, and really cool dude. He actually knew Vinny for a long time, being down there at Fort Worth as a promoter. I hope Phil didn't take the news of Vinny's passing too heavy. I know he blames or used to himself for Dimebag. Yeah, there was a lot of bad blood when Pantera broke up. Uh, those three guys were not in a good place with each other. And unfortunately, I don't know if he ever got to, kind of make up with Vinny or not before he passed. I don't think he did. From what I've heard, I don't think they ever reconciled, which it's sad. Is a Pantera also a restaurant? And you're showing your age, Noah. Bread and sandwich. um, so we got done playing, and it was we were down there in October. It was right around Halloween, and Warren was this guy's name. He's like, "Hey, I know you guys are planning on leaving, but you want to stick around for another day?" He's like, "I've got VIP to Vinnie Paul's Halloween party at the clubhouse." Now, if anybody knows what the clubhouse was, that was the strip club that Dimebag and Vinny owned together. If anybody was into metal and into Pantera and watched the home movies that they put out, the home DVDs that were oh so popular, uh, that those are the kind of things that made you want to be a rock star, and live that kind of life. But they kind of showed a little bit of the clubhouse, so we were like, hell yeah, we're gonna stick around. We're gonna go see some strippers, party. Vinny, hell yeah, I was going to be there. They were in town because they were recording their album Band of Brothers. So we went there. We stayed another night with Warren. He put us up. Then we went the next morning and to, I think, Walmart to try to find some costumes because it was a Halloween party. And got ready to go to the club that night. It was pretty cool. One, besides it being a strip club, which was cool in itself, it had a really cool shrine to Dimebag right when you walked in. It was really cool. You walked into there was like the hall, and you had like this glass case that had a bunch of pictures of Dime throughout the years. Had I think some of his. If you remember Dime, he used to wear like some really cool. I don't know if they were sponsored by North Star at that time, but like these really kind of cool vests on stage, and they're like all patched up and stuff. Like they had a really cool style. They influenced a lot of bands. Um, Drew G says, "Draw stream, love it. Can't stay long, but had to pop in for a while." Well, thanks, Drew. Appreciate it. Um, anyway, it was cool. They had that kind of up, and it was just a really nice. I got a picture by it, and it was really cool to see. Also, got to go see Dime's grave while we were down in Fort Worth area. So we got to see Vinny come in, and Hell Yeah was there, and they took us over. They introduced us to Vinny. he was he was dressed up as a pimp. This was back when a blackface wasn't like this thing where people would just freak out if people did that kind of stuff. So he was dressed up like this black pimp, but it was all in good fun. Excuse me if I've asked before, but what was the name of your band? My band was called Mine Enemies Fall. You can look us up on YouTube. Got a ton of live videos, and all of our music is up on YouTube. Mine, Mine, Enemies Fall. And Chad Gray was there, and Chad Gray was, the former lead singer of Mudvayne, which Mudvayne had broke up at that point, or at least they weren't doing a lot of music, and they were really kind of focused on doing the Hell Yeah thing. And so he was there, and he was dressed up like this crazy clown. Pretty much, if you followed Mudvayne, you remember how Chad used to dress when he was performing. Oops, sorry, get that off camera. And that's basically how he showed up to this party. Saw them at Pine Knob in the infamous sod fight. Oh no shit, that's badass. You talking about Pantera? I saw Pantera one time, and that was in 2001. So it was at the end of their run, but it was still fucking badass show. Saw him there with Slayer, but still just killer set. One of the coolest bands live I've ever seen. I'll say that. So anyway, Vinny was really cool. Sat there and took pictures with us. And then we just kind of hung out, got our music played. Some of the strippers danced to it, and that was pretty cool to see. My guitarist Ian hooked up with one of the strippers that night, which was a former girlfriend of Vinny's, which was it was interesting. Yeah, I saw them 4 times. Fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome. I think my bass player, who was a little older than me, saw Pantera, I think 5 times. Most of it all back in their prime of like 94 through 96, which I think is some of the best era for Pantera. Anyway, so we would give my guitarist shit, be like, dude, it's like you're sleeping with Vinny. That was pretty cool. But we kind of hit it off with Chad Gray. We hung out with him primarily throughout the night because, like I said, we weren't going to be up Vinny's ass or anything. And Chad was a cool dude, just down to earth guy, and fun guy. Getting drunk, hanging out, and that was it. We were going back to enjoying the night. The memories that were made of that night, just kind of reveling in the awesomeness of what we had just kind of all experienced, and getting ready to head home. Long trip. It was a 19-hour drive home to get back to Michigan. And Warren came to us at the end of the night and said, "Hey, Vinny invited you guys to his house tomorrow." That was a Sunday night. The next night was Monday night, and Monday Night Football. He's a big Dallas fan, and Dallas was playing Philadelphia, big rivalry. He's like, "Hey, he's having a big Monday night party at his house," and he said, "You guys are welcome to come." And we were like, "Fuck!" Like, we were supposed to get home, all this kind of stuff, and we're like, so I was like, "Well, screw it," like, you're never gonna have this opportunity again. So we're like, yeah, we'll stay down here one more day. I made some phone calls, told my job I was gonna be home or I wasn't gonna be back when I said I was, and we're getting ready to go to this party. Yeah, I hope everybody got a chance to see Pantera back in the day um, on YT. What's YT? Oh, YouTube. I saw them on YouTube. Ah, gotcha. My first concert was Led Zeppelin. Oh shit. Nice. Nice. What a poor choice of football teams. Well, Dallas, Dallas Fort Worth. Yeah. Those were his home teams. You can't knock him for that. Not a big fan of those teams myself either, but anyway, so we went and got new costumes. I got this really cool Raphael mask that, like, well, just like a plastic mask, but I thought it was badass. It was cheap. We were like really broke at the time too. Like we had enough money to get home, maybe a little bit of food. And so I got what I could get out of Walmart down there in Fort Worth and got this really badass Raphael mask that I wore. And we went to Vinny's the next day, and it was really cool, man. Like I said, Hell Yeah was in town, so they were recording their Band of Brothers album. And when you walked into Vinny's house, first off, let me just say, you walk into this dude's house, and it was like 3-story house, and it was like this giant vaulted ceiling. So you walk in and you like look up, and you can see like everything. And he had like 20 friggin' TVs just all over the walls, just going up. It was crazy. It was the coolest thing I ever saw. And to the right, when you would walk in, he was recording his drums in his living room because it was all like this stone kind of designs, and it must have been pretty good for acoustics, I'd imagine, which is why they had the setup there. But he had, the drums were all taped off, like you couldn't go near him or anything. Obviously we didn't want to go near him. You get kicked out instantly if you're trying to look at his drums or touch his drums, especially when they're recording. And when you're recording, you get the right setup. You don't want to touch um, the drums because they got the sound set up. It's all ready to go. You don't want to fuck with that. You could really have to spend another hours getting them all set back up. So we just looked at it from afar, but it was cool to see his drum set there. And Vinny was there cooking, made some badass barbecue. So got to eat some of Vinny's famous barbecue, which was really, really fucking awesome. And then we just hung out and partied. I was a little disappointed at the time because Chad Gray was supposed to be there, but he was nursing a hangover. So, I mean, he was still passed out, I guess. So, probably about, I don't know, we stayed there until maybe like 11 o'clock at night. And Vinny, at that point, had passed out. I mean, these guys partied hard, partied all day and partied hard. And he was like donezo. So, we were getting ready to leave. Long drive home, like I said. And Chad Gray ended up waking up and coming out. And we had met Chad's girlfriend the night before. She was really cool girl. And she saw that we were leaving, and she was like, "You guys taking off?" And we're like, "Yeah, we gotta go long drive." So she's like, "Let me wake up Chad because I know he really wanted to see you guys." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So she went and woke up Chad, and he got up. He's like, "You guys taking off?" And we were like, "Yeah, blah blah blah, same thing." He was like, "No, fuck that." He's like, "You guys are sticking around here. You're drinking with me." And we were like, "Okay." So we hung out with him. The guitarist for Mudvayne was also in Hell Yeah at that time. Greg, what was his name? Greg. Shit, Can't remember his name. It's been a while, but he was cool. We just all hung out, just drank. And it was a fun time. Took a bunch of pictures. Gave Chad, some T-shirts. Oh yeah, and fuck, I almost forgot. So we were talking about Hell Yeah. Um, it's almost as bad as the Bears. Hey now, hey, calm yourself, calm your tits. Try Lions, crazy man. Yeah. Lions are worse. Robert Shepard, see my icon. I'm a Bengals fan. I normally feel your pain. Oh yeah, Bengals. Yeah, Mama Bears. We're all in the same boat, fellas. We're all in the same boat. Nice. I thought you were Crack Pappy fan. So they asked Chad's like, you guys like Hell Yeah? And I was like, yeah, I like the first album. The first album was really good. He's like, what'd you think of the second album? No, I didn't like the second album. I thought it was a little too commercial. I like the metal feel of Hell Yeah. Like their first album came out, it was just kind of raw. Um, and then their second album came out, and I feel like they were trying to, cater, get the new fan base in there, and they did a little bit more like radio friendly metal music and stuff like that. If you want to call it that. And so I just told him I was honest. Like honestly, like I didn't like it as much. And he just kind of looked at me. He's like, yeah, me either. He's like, I really didn't. He's like, I didn't like what we did with that album. He's like, I really want to get back to more of a metal style of music. He's like, this next album is going to be, we're getting back to our metal roots. And that was Band of Brothers, which they definitely did. And he's like, hey, you guys want to hear some of the album? And I was like, yeah. So they had like an unmastered version of the album. He's like, we'll let you listen to all but 2 songs. We're going to hold off 2 of the songs. We're not going to let you hear, but everything else you guys can hear and tell us what you think. So we got to kind of be a little bit of a sounding board for Hell Yeah, and we went into Vinny's living room, and they put it up on the sound system there, which was incredible. He's sitting there getting drunk, listening to Hell Yeah's new album with Chad Gray and Greg. I can't remember if I know their bass player wasn't there. I can't remember if the other guy from Nothing Face. Fuck, I forgot all these names. It's been a while since I've been in the music. I forgot all these names. But that was just a real surreal, experience. It was really cool. And the album kicked ass, and um, yeah, it was just really awesome. So, what was cool out of it is Chad ended up giving me his phone number. He's like, "Hey, anytime you guys are in town, or if we're coming around, give us a holler. We'll get you on the list to come see us. You can come watch us VIP." So that was really cool, and I still have his phone number today. Never gave it away to anybody. Very respectful in that aspect. And we did. We went and saw them a bunch of times when they would come around, and we'd be VIP and got to watch them play side stage. And I'll just say, like, watching Vinnie Paul play side stage is awesome, or was awesome. Again, rest in peace, Vinny. But watching that dude play drums on the side of the stage was just something else, because you could just really watch his feet and just really watch him work. It was just, as a lifelong Pantera fan, to experience that was a dream come true. I'd say it's about the same kind of feeling like it is working with Joe Weems and Matt Bat Banning on Reaper Destroyer. Just one of those things you never thought would happen. You just get, cherish the fact that it did. So yeah, that was the time that I met Vinnie Paul, formerly of Pantera, then of Hell Yeah. And again, I hung out mostly with Chad, but Vinny was cool the times that, we got to talk to him. He was always very gracious with taking pictures. He was always really plastered. We got to meet, Vinny a couple more times after that, obviously. That was, I guess, the first time we met Vinny. We hung out with him a couple more times. We went down to Texas and played, and they'd happen to be around, so we'd go out where they were at and hang out with them and party a little bit. But it was never the same as like that first night. That first night was just one of those surreal moments. That's when you're like living that rock star life, and you're like, yes, I could get used to this. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll is a real thing. It's like, for sure, could get used to that. That's normally how it works. The first album kills, the rest usually aren't nearly as good. Yeah, that's 100% true. And a lot of that's because you get um, the studio comes in, you get a little bit more produced, especially now that they know they can make money off you. So first album is usually just raw. It's you're doing what you feel. Um, you have a little bit more freedom. Then you get producers come in and they're like, this song really was a big hit. We need another song like this, so we can sell a hit. Um, you just get really you get really more produced. That's basically what it is. And every band goes through it. You can look at any single band out there. There's a few bands like Pantera was definitely one of those bands that always stayed true. They had the power to do what they wanted to do, and they kind of came from a different era. A lot of the older metal bands were like that, unless they specifically wanted to make a big change in their style. But newer bands always suffered, in my opinion, from overproducing. Because the magic of what a band is that first album. Because that's when you're going to fall in love with them. When their music speaks to you and they have something to say is in that first album. And then, what always happens is they, come in and they get messed with the studio. And in fact, Chad even told me once that, because I always told him, I was like, dude, like, I want to get to your guys' level. We'd love to get signed, like that's the dream. And he told us straight up, he's like, if you guys ever get the chance, he's like, stay independent. He's like, don't ever sign. He's like, stay independent, have control over your music, have control over what you do, because that's where the creativity is. And I took that to heart. And that was one of the things, like, that was actually kind of time where I was stopped to worry about getting signed. And it was just about like, let's do this ourselves, because at that time we had a lot of good fans. We were touring across the country, doing pretty good in our sales. We weren't making a living, but it was enough to tour and get our music out there. There are exceptions. Yeah, absolutely. I have some really great memories of Pantera. Dude, Pantera was that was my childhood. Like I said, uh, that was the band that made me want to get into music, to be in a band. Just, yeah, I modeled a lot of my vocal style after Phil. It was a combination between Phil and Randy Blythe and a few other guys, but I really wanted to have that like aggressive singing, but heavy style. A guy I used to know had a theory that first albums are always the best because they're the ones that musicians have to work on for the entire life prior to its creation. Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing too, because you do. Just speaking from an independent point of view, you do have as much time in the world to work on that first album, and you never get as much time after that, especially when you get signed, because now you're on the schedule. That first album, you have a little bit of a chance to work on stuff, get your sound, get exactly what you want to do done. Now the second album comes around, and now you got to fit it between touring, so you get a certain amount of time that you get to make the album before you have to hit the road again for promotion. And that's why these guys, the fact that these guys have families, or a lot of them could still get a family and raise a family, is crazy to me, because they're on the road like, 340 days out of the year or something like that. You're just constantly touring because you have to. That's how the studio makes their money on you, is you got to be out there selling tickets. The band makes money off of merch. The studio makes the money off of the ticket sales. And if you want to get paid, you got to get out there slinging that merch, selling that product. That's one thing about the independent scene I liked. It's like, yeah, it was similar to that, but there was still a little bit more of like a love, where I feel like the mainstream, it became really it became a business, Some people are just timeless song. Some people are just timeless song creators and hit every time. Yeah, I mean, there's some fantastic songwriters out there. Dave Grohl is one of them. The dude always creates awesome songs and has done it for a long career. Nirvana's Nevermind was better than Slur. Yeah, I agree. Nickelback. Oh man. Right after Cowboys from Hell came out, my brother was in a band called Gizmo, and we're at Walmart for Christmas buying toys, and Daryl and Vinny were in front of us and paid for our stuff. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, man, those were some good dudes. Those were some good guys. Um, the world definitely lost not only great musicians when they lost Dime and the Vinny, but just good overall people. And that was one of the things that I really, again, if you watch um, the homemade movies that Pantera would put out back in the day, you just really got that sense of who they were as people, and that reputation lived on. Like everybody that I met down in Fort Worth that knew Dime, I'll just talk about how awesome of a person he was. I got to see it firsthand with Vinny. Even though I didn't talk to him a whole hell of a lot, it was still, very accommodating, very cool, very nice. I got to see how he acted with other people too. It wasn't just us. There are other people that would be around when we would be down there, and he would always have time to take pictures. He was big with his fans. Um, yeah, so I'd definitely say it was good people. Good people. Oh, what a miss. Yeah, I knew you were joking. Had to have been joking. I knew it. The Beatles had to pump out like 2 albums a year, plus singles, plus touring. Yeah, and the Beatles stopped touring like in '67, I think. So they only toured they toured a lot. They toured like nonstop the time they toured, and then they stopped touring. And they just worked on putting out albums, which back in the day was cool. And that's why they put out so much music. And another band that just wrote really really good music. Not an extreme hater, but it was an intentional joke. I got you. I see what you're doing. I feel you. I actually don't hate everything Nickelback ever put out either. Just I'm not a big fan of the band. They're like the poster child for like a sellout band. That's why a lot of the music, fans, bands, independent bands never liked them. Yeah, Shelby. Yeah, Shelby's a great songwriter. Yeah, for sure. He's put out awesome albums with the Foo Fighters. Love his music. Were you around the band when Terry was the lead singer? No, no, that was a little bit before my time. I'm only 39. So when Terry was singing, I was still under 10 years old. Ever seen everyone from Hatebreed and Lamb of God to Rascal Flatts and Garth Brooks and everyone in between, including Nickelback? Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've seen quite a variety of bands too. I haven't seen Nickelback, but I got a Coomer card with my older order of bonds that drive, and it was not all photoshopped. I got a Coomer card with my order of bonds, the drive, and it was not all photoshopped. I'm confused. I'm not sure what that is. Explain that to me, mortal. Stop touring in 66. Well, whatever. 66, 67. It's the same thing. But yes, you sound like you know your Beatles stuff, Noah. I dig it. The Stones set the pace for modern touring. Yeah, probably. I just never liked the Stones. There's some, there's something about the Stones I don't know, man. Like I was a Beatles guy. The Stones were I don't know. Like I like a few of their songs. Under My Thumb's good. Um, I'm sure if I could think about it, I would think of some other stuff. But Stones were just not my cup of tea. Thought the Beatles were way more creative. I need a thicker pen. What we got here? Let's try this. Yeah, but my dad was a big Beatles fan. I grew up on the 50s and 60s style music, so I've got a love for that style quite a bit. Stones suck live. Seen them 3 times. Yeah, I mean, I've watched some of their live stuff. Never seen them, but they definitely had like this. I don't know. They definitely didn't sound that great. They were, and they care about their recording process, which is why the mono sounds so good. Noah is what 16, 17, and he talks about the Beatles, and it's a wonder, and it's a wonderful life. You're going to be a legend of your generation. Yeah, it's probably it has to be. I would assume his parents probably were fans of some that time era or whatever. That's what it was with me. Like my dad was big into he always listened to the oldies. So I grew up listening to the oldies and falling in love with the style of music that he listened to. And it wasn't until I was like 12, 13, that I started listening to modern music. And a lot of it was, because of my dad. And so I always have a great love and appreciation for that era of music, those bands specifically. Um, I own almost every single Beatles album on CD, but my dad's got a ton of records. I was big into Elton John too back in the day. I basically learned how to sing a little bit from Elton John when I was younger. Of course, I'd go into heavy metal later on in life, but uh, the Beatles are the band that made me want to actually be in a band when I was a kid. A good era of music, I'll say that. My favorite Beatles album is still Abbey Road. It's just such a well produced, well sounding album. Shit, sorry, keep getting out of frame here. January, February for your birthday, Noah. February, mine too. February 15th. What day is your birthday? The Beatles are unmatched. Absolutely. Yeah, I like you, Noah. I was a little bit iffy before, but now you're all right in my book. You're all right. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Yeah, awesome song. Elton John was a great songwriter. A great songwriter. Great voice. I mean, extremely talented. Yeah, he had his partner doing a lot of his lyric writing for him, which is fine. They were like the combination of songwriters, but they put it all together and made some awesome music. And Elton John's got one of those classic voices, man. That's what I was thinking during your campaign. Uh, what is that in reference to? I got into the Beatles through Billy Joel. Oh, yeah, Billy, he was good, another good one. My mom can't stand the Beatles, but my dad likes their early stuff a bit. I liked all the Beatles stuff. You got the poppy kind of music that they did in the 50s. I want to hold your hand and all that kind of stuff. And then they got a little bit more into like the drug phase. And when they started experimenting a lot with like drugs and stuff, like they had some really cool music, starting with Rubber Soul and Revolver was awesome. Revolver was one of my favorite albums for the longest time. Rubber Soul was really good, you know, and obviously the White Album was awesome. And then, you know, later on with Abbey Road, very good. Loved Elvis. He was one of my favorite when I was like 8. Elvis was good. Never got huge into Elvis. I was raised on Elvis, probably too much hip swinging for Noah. Even the Beatles' early pop stuff is amazing, really catchy stuff. Yeah, yeah, it is. You got some good taste, Noah. Good taste. When you're a good songwriter, you're a good songwriter. When you know how to manipulate the chords and harmonies and melodies and put it all together, that just doesn't go away, you know. You'll produce good stuff. And the great ones do and did. All right, so I think I'm pretty much, what time is it? Almost an hour. So I'm pretty much done with this. Don't know who it's going to, but one of the backers of the Ashcan that got a head sketch. This will go to. Not Amanda B, because she's already got a side profile of Reaper Destroyer in her collection. So I'm going to give her a different angle. Dude, Revolver and Rubber Soul are so good. Yeah, I really love those albums. Their evolution from like 65 to 68 is insane. That's what I say about the Beatles, or anybody that dogs the Beatles or, you know, has an issue with them. I'm like, you might not have heard their entire um career, because they did. They're one of those bands that could evolve but still sound like the Beatles. And they had so many different styles within their music. They weren't just like one style. I mean, they could do country style songs. They could do, oh shit, my phone's about to fall. You know, experimental songs. They had orchestras. You know, they were a fantastic group of writers. You know, primarily from John and Paul, but George wrote, you know, quite a bit in the later days, and George wrote some really great songs. While My Guitar Weeps is still a classic. In the ghetto, it's cold Chicago morning. Something, something, something in the ghetto. uh, Sean BB King, seen BB King, Ray Charles, Robert Clay, Buddy Guy, Rolling Stones, Edgar Winter, Steppenwolf Suite, Grand Funk Railroad, awesome. Outlaws, Warren Hayes, Wasp, Slayer, Joan Jett, nice. Eric Clapton, man, dude, you've seen a lot. That's awesome. That is awesome. Mortal V, seen that post-COVID episode. It's good. This Boy, and Because of some of the best harmonies I've ever heard. They had some great harmonies, man. They had some great harmonies. And there was a lot of good examples of their music for male harmony, you know. And that's one of the cool things I liked about older music is male harmony. Like when you do it right, and you can do the different styles of harmonies. You know, Alice in Chains was really good at doing. I can't remember what they're called, like fifth or third harmonies or whatever. But you can make really haunting sounds. You can make very emotional sounds, very pleasant hearing, you know, sounds to the ear. Music is awesome. You know, I still have a great love and a passion for music. You know, I'll do more music one day before it's all said and done. Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, John Lennon. Mom and Dad saw Elvis last Connecticut show. Oh no shit! Now the entire blues and jazz shabu in Revolving Door of the Artist Plus. That's really cool, man. Which song do you think is better, Strawberry Fields or A Day in the Life? Oh man, that's hard, dude. Because A Day in the Life, it's got that great middle to it, like when they break off, and I don't know, man. Strawberry Fields is great. You know, that's a fun That's just a fun, like, kind of eerie, creepy kind of song. Like when you think about it, like the chords they use, the way that John's voice sounds in that. Uh, I don't know. That's hard, man. Anytime you've got to kind of talk about what song's better, this or that, when it comes to the Beatles, that's a hard decision. Definitely a hard decision. Some of my favorite songs are off Abbey Road. That just had a really cool sound to it. Owners to Old School Shabu Inn are longtime friends of mom and dad. They are the stages at the Mohegan Sun Casino. Mohegan? I'm a big Zeppelin fan, American comics. Zeppelin was cool too. Saw Zeppelin in '74 in Detroit, my home state. Very cool. Day in Life has probably my favorite John Lennon or Lennon vocals, but Strawberry Fields has better lyrics in my opinion. Extremely calming to me. Yeah, it's got like it's a very like a soothing kind of eerie. The lyrics are really cool. Like when you think about it, like it's got some crazy lyrics. And that was the time then when the Beatles were kind of experimenting with the nonsensical lyrics, where a lot of times John, especially, you just say things in songs and rhyme them together. Yeah, it's a really interesting way of songwriting. I never tried doing it personally, but I always had a lot of respect for it. And you kind of come up with some really interesting lyrics, concepts of songs. I think I drew a little bit too big on this. I'm gonna have to probably trim it down. But there you go. Another head sketch done in the books. Great sound for stereo only recording. Abbey Road is insane. The opening on it is fantastic. Come Together, and then something, then OFC, the melody. What I liked about Abbey Road, the record wise, is that the entire second side of the record was, ran together. Like all the songs ran together. That was really cool. All the way to In the End. And in the end, it's a great song. I know what you meant. I think it's also showed he was getting bored. Who, Lennon? Talking about the nonsensical stuff. Lennon's an interesting songwriter. I'm not a big fan of where Lennon went after the Beatles. He made some good music, but um, I don't know. Some of his philosophy in life and stuff was just started kind of getting way out there. I Was Living Large in the '80s. I Am the Walrus is one of the best trolls ever. Lennon heard teachers were having students analyze the Beatles lyrics, so he wrote a nonsense song. It cracks me up every time. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like Lennon did that, quite a few times, but yeah. And he try to like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about in this song? It's like, he's not talking about anything. It's just a good song. It sounds good. The thing I don't like about Abbey Road is how they didn't end it with the end. They put Her Majesty after that. Yeah, yeah. My dad said the same thing. Like that would have been a really good end. It's just the end. Like it's um because Abbey Road was their last album. Um, for some reason, Let It Be didn't get released in the United States until after Abbey Road. But Abbey Road was their last written album. So that would have been a great way to end their career and the album and just let it roll. So I agree with you there. That would have been awesome. But yeah, that entire album is awesome. So good. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you sticking with me. Great conversation. Music. I love talking about music. It's one of my passions still. I think I'm going to use this camera more often. A lot better picture, stays a little bit more in focus. But I let's see, this is 3 down now. I've got at least 5 more I still have to do. So I'm gonna try to film every single one. That's gonna be the next one, all set and ready to go. Really appreciate you keeping me company. Didn't Didn't Ringer write some nonsense stuff like Yellow Submarine and another? Ringo. Sorry, Ring. I get you. Ringo. Yeah, Ringo. Well, I don't know if he wrote it, but they wrote it for him to sing. Yellow Submarine, Octopus's Garden. And I know there was another song that they did because I wanted everybody to participate in the songs. So I think they wrote it for him. I don't know if he specifically wrote it himself. Mach Malloy, the singer, Van Halen wanted instead of Sammy, I have a custom made Bacchus Les Paul from him. No shit. That's cool. Yellow Submarine, Octopus Garden. Yep. Mitch Malloy. Okay. Match. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I will see you guys all tomorrow, most likely. So everyone have a great day, and we're going to head into December, and it's gonna be great end to the year. So you all take care. Talk to you later. Peace.